Sound of gentle ambient garden noises, distant birdsong, a soft breeze. My dad, Arthur, spends most of his days in his garden. It used to be his pride and joy. Every flower meticulously tended, every weed ruthlessly pulled. Now it's just a place he sits, a familiar backdrop to a life that's become a loop of forgotten moments. I bring him his lunch every day. Same time, same bench. Here's your lunch, Dad, I say. And every day he looks up at me with the polite, vacant eyes of a stranger. Oh, thank you, dear, that's very kind. He doesn't know who I am. He's here, but he's gone. And I grieve for him every single day, sitting right next to him. It's a quiet, lonely kind of heartbreak. I'm his daughter, Sarah, but to him, I'm just a kind lady who brings him food. We were sitting there, just like any other day, the silence thick between us when something shifted. A tiny flutter of movement near the rose bushes caught his eye. His gaze, usually so distant, sharpened. He leaned forward, his whole body tensing with a focus I hadn't seen in years. On the ground, struggling in the grass, was a tiny, fuzzy fledgling. A baby robin, all beak and terror, that had clearly fallen from its nest in the big oak tree. And then something incredible happened. The fog that usually surrounds my father just evaporated. He pushed himself up from the bench, not with his usual shuffling hesitation, but with a quiet, sudden purpose. It was like a switch had been flipped. The confused, distant man was gone. In his place was my dad. He moved slowly, his old bones creaking, but his actions were deliberate. He walked over to the shed, me trailing behind, completely stunned. He found an old shoebox, the one he used to keep seeds in. Then he gently gathered handfuls of soft, dry grass, lining the box with the same care he once used to plant his prize-winning tulips. He approached the fledgling so gently, his large, weathered hands cupping around it, his voice a low, soothing rumble. There now, little one, it's all right. We'll get you sorted. I just stood there watching. My heart was pounding in my chest. This was him. This was the man who taught me how to ride a bike. The man who'd bandage my scraped knees and tell me everything would be okay. His posture, the protective way he hunched over that tiny, vulnerable creature. It was a ghost of the father I thought I had lost forever. He carefully placed the little bird into its new, temporary nest. Then he got a ladder, and with a steadiness that defied his condition, he climbed up and wedged the box securely into a fork in the branches of the oak tree, as close to the original nest as he could get it. He came back down, his movements slow again, and stood next to me watching the tree. He didn't look at me, but he spoke. And this time his voice wasn't for the bird. You remember, Sarah, he said, his voice raspy. When you found that sparrow with the broken wing? You cried for an hour. Tears streamed down my face, I couldn't speak. I just nodded, choking on a sob. He turned his head, and for the first time in 3 years, he really looked at me. His eyes were clear, he saw me. He reached out and patted my arm, his touch familiar and warm. You always had a soft heart, he said. And just like that, it was over. The light in his eyes dimmed. The connection broke. He looked back at the garden, a flicker of confusion on his face, and the fog rolled back in. A moment later, he turned to me with that same polite, distant smile. It's a lovely day, isn't it? He didn't remember. The moment was gone, a tiny island of clarity in an ocean of forgetfulness. But I'll remember, for both of us. Dementia had taken so much. But in that one moment, caring for the smallest of creatures, my dad showed me that the man he was, the kind, gentle, protective father I loved, was still in there. And sometimes, just sometimes, he still finds his way out.